In this section, we'll discuss demand planning roles and perspectives. When most people talk about demand planning, they discuss it as a mix of both art and science. The science is well understood and the process well documented. We develop base forecasts using statistical models, add market intelligence such as promotions and advertising, and we gain agreement through the consensus meeting. Finally, we review the actual sales versus the forecast, look at forecast accuracy, and adjust our approach and our demand plans. So the science is well discussed and well researched, but this presentation will talk a little more about the art of the game. The demand planning process involves different groups to develop a robust forecast. Each function has a different perspective with different inputs, but also different objectives that may be in conflict. Understanding each role will help us to get a sense of where bias may be introduced. We'll look at the 5 main roles in demand planning process: the demand planner, sales manager, finance manager, marketing and innovation leader, and the general manager. And we'll hear from some people in our company to learn more. The primary role in the demand planning process is, of course, the demand planner. They develop the statistical baseline, they incorporate market intelligence from sales and marketing and other sources, and they run and facilitate the consensus meeting. Their objective is to publish the most accurate forecast possible without bias. Also, demand planners support business decisions and often run ad hoc analysis. Their perspective is a bit different. They're dedicated to the demand planning process in a way that no other function is. Because of that, they may not understand what other functions are doing outside of demand planning, and they may be idealistic, thinking that everyone wants to contribute to the most accurate forecast possible. By the way, their reporting relationship does affect their role. A demand planner reporting into sales or marketing may have a different perspective than a demand planner reporting into supply chain or finance. Let's hear from a demand planner now.
Cameron, how are you feeling about your new role in the company?
I'm so excited to be a new demand planner. I get to see the sales for all our products and help the company make forecasts. I'm sure marketing and sales will help me get it right.
Another important role in the demand planning process is that of the sales manager. They provide market intelligence around promotions and customer actions like inventory stocking and destocking, which can greatly affect the accuracy. Sales managers attend the consensus meeting, although not always in person, often in the field. Their objectives are to grow top-line revenue and also to minimize service for customers, as they have to deal with a lot of the issues and fallout from service problems. They normally take a customer view of demand, and sales managers are often very optimistic and intuitive rather than analytical. Sales managers are more concerned about service than inventory, and thus have a tendency to over-forecast. Sales managers may also view meetings, such as the consensus, as time away from customers, and may be reticent to attend. Let's hear from a sales manager now.
Well, Kevin, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about demand planning. Tell me about the forecasting process.
I like the forecasting process. Even though I need to be with customers, it's good to check in with HQ. If I can give information that helps make the product available, even better. I know that I can only sell the product that we make, so we need to make enough. You feel me?
The next role in the demand planning process is that of the finance manager. They attend the consensus meeting and also have the responsibility to convert a unit demand plan into a revenue projection. Their objectives are generally around financial planning and analysis, and to help manage sales and profit estimates. Finance managers are typically neutral as a part of the consensus process, but because they don't provide market intelligence per se, they may not have a strong opinion about the demand plan. Finance managers typically find it difficult to present a strong view around the demand plans and often follow the direction of the general manager. Let's hear from our finance manager.
So how would you describe your role in the demand planning process?
Well, I attend the consensus process representing the finance group. After the meeting, I roll up the numbers and report out our actuals and plans versus the budget. If there are any variances, we would normally look at scenarios to grow sales or reduce expenses.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, we do whatever it takes to support the business and manage changes.
Another important role is the marketing and innovation leader. They attend the consensus meeting and also provide input around advertising and the timing of specific market events. Importantly, marketing and innovation leaders lead new product development and introduction. Their objectives are often tied to the amount of innovation that is generated on an annual basis, and their focus is to bring new products to market on time. Marketing leaders take a product-centered view of demand, and they're typically optimistic about new product performance. They may think big picture over the details, rather than get into all of the products and all of the analytics. Let's hear from our marketing and innovation leader now.
So, Bridget, tell us about the new product planning process.
We have so many new products coming out. It's amazing. My job is to make sure they are on time, and forecasts are part of that. This is going to be the best year ever.
Finally, we have the role of the general manager. The general manager leads many of the functions across the business unit, and the general manager owns the consensus meeting. While the demand planner may do the preparation and facilitation, the general manager provides the final vote on all demand plans. General managers have to meet multiple business objectives, both internal and external, but their key objective is to drive revenue and profits at the same time. General manager's perspective may be a bit different. They often see the demand plan as a signal of the commitment versus the original budget that was made at the beginning of the year. A forecast that is over budget indicates upside and may turn into the new target in the middle of the year. A forecast under budget may signal that the business unit is giving up on its target. Also, the general manager often has limited time devoted to consensus. Let's hear from our general manager.
Hadley, thanks for coming here today. So what do you think about the demand planning process?
I love the demand planning process. It definitely helps me to make business decisions. Too bad I can't always make the meeting. I have to drive results, which can be very boring.
So what happens when the demand plan doesn't meet the business target for revenue?
I am in this role to drive results. I told you that like 1,000 times already. We don't let people off the hook just because their target is tough. If I can't deliver, then someone else will.
So now that we've looked at the demand planning roles, what do we observe? First, it's important to note that roles are different in each company, and certainly individuals behave differently in different roles. However, there are some key takeaways for demand planning. 1. Market intelligence is often biased to over-forecasting. A goal to drive service or to increase innovation both lead to over-forecasting. Second, demand plans may signal business commitment, which will lead to reluctance from different teams to deviate from their annual budget. And 3, goals for many functions may be in conflict to the objectives of delivering the most accurate demand plan. So what are the takeaways for demand planners? Demand planners cannot be idealistic about conflicting objectives. They need to understand that there's potential bias built into organization structures and incentives, and not everyone is focused on forecast accuracy. But there are key success factors for demand planners, including keeping discussions objective in nature. Subjective discussions lead to bias. Limiting market intelligence and assessing whether information is improving accuracy or damaging it. Gaining support from senior management to achieve demand planning goals. Demand planners should make the case with senior management and the general manager specifically to understand that demand planning accuracy leads to balance around service, cost, and inventory. And finally, knowing when to support perspectives that may not be focused only on demand accuracy. For example, a bet on innovation with a high side forecast may be in line with the company's strategy. So we hope you enjoyed this module about the roles in demand planning, bias, and how it's introduced, as well as some ideas to reduce that bias. Thanks for your time.